objective of today's FDP is, after the completion of today's lecture, participant will be able to understand what is clustering, understand the types of clustering, understand the goal of clustering, understand mathematics involved in clustering, understand the applications of clustering in various fields, especially in engineering domain also, understand what is K-means clustering and how its algorithm is prescribed through verbal and flowchart form, advantages and disadvantages, mathematical aspects with problems, and knowing about availability of important books, and they are going to answer multiple choice questions in K-means clustering. Let me start the lecture today with the quote that classes are conceptually meaningful groups of objects. Classes, I mean here, is nothing but the clustering. Classes are conceptual meaningful groups of objects that share common characteristic, plays an important role in how people analyze and describe this world. Like we are partitioned as Indians, Americans, British, Singaporeans, Malaysian, like that. They are going to share some common characteristic. By that, they are going to analyze and describe this world. For doing further analysis, it is essential to classify the universal collection. What is clustering? Let us see this. We are going to address this question by some example. A bank wants to give credit card offers to its customers. Currently, they look at the details of each customer and based on this information, decide whether which offer should be given to which customer. Now, the bank can potentially have millions of customers. Does it make sense to look at the details of each customer separately and then make a decision? It is not possible because there are millions of customers. That means what should they do? Certainly not. It is a usual process and will have a huge amount of time. So what can the bank do? One option is to segment its customers into different groups. Here segment is nothing but clustering, not classification, clustering. Clustering will lead then to classification. They are somehow different. For instance, the bank can group the customer based on their income as high income, average income, and low income. So this is a type of clustering they are doing for incorporating some strategies. The bank can now make 3 different strategies for offers, one for each group. Based on the income of the group, they can give offers. Here, instead of creating different strategies for individual customers, they only have to make 3 strategies. Since there are billion number of customers, if they try to design strategy for each and every person, means it is not feasible. So what can they do? Instead of taking the customers separately, let them segregate, that is, let them do the clustering and then design a strategy and implement. That is very possible also. Here, instead of creating strategy for individual customers, they only have to make 3 strategies. Instead of making million number of strategies, it will be easy for them to make 3 different strategies. The groups mentioned above are known as clusters, and the process of creating this group is known as clustering. Process of creating this group only we are going to see today. Just a minute. Clustering is the process of dividing the entire data into groups based on the patterns in the data. We will not be knowing what the hidden pattern in it. What is a hidden pattern? They have digged finally. The pattern they digged is high income, average income, and low income people. This is the pattern. How do multivariate analysis perform? What do you mean by multivariate analysis? We are not going to work with the single attribute. Instead, we are going to work with the multiple attribute. You take the bank employees. When bank employees, otherwise customers, whoever may be, when attribute is concerned, they are not going to possess a single attribute. They will be possessing more number of attributes. For customers means they will be having credit account or current account. their age group, their income, their loan amount, like that. We may be differentiating so many attributes. So we are going, that is called here as multivariate analysis. Multivariate means more than one attribute the data will possess. That is called as multivariate analysis. For doing this multivariate analysis, we want clustering. So we are going to integrate with the statements as what is clustering, why clustering, what is hierarchical clustering, it is another type of clustering, what is k-means clustering. We are now interested in what is clustering, why clustering, what is k-means clustering. Similarity also one type of tool to cluster. We are going to neglect these two informations today, and we are going to concentrate on what is clustering, why clustering, and what is k-means clustering. What actually a clustering system is? Clustering system means prior to the clustering process, the data will be in the mixed mode. Data will be in the mixed form. We are going to segregate the uniformity in the data. Look here, it is this data contains diamond shape, circular shape, and star. We are segregating this data in terms of the shape, not in terms of the, yes, in terms of the shape as well as in terms of the color also. So we are, after segregating this data partition into three categories. If I wish to impose any strategy, means it is easy for me to impose strategy for this group and this group and this group. You can take this collection as the customer of a bank, and they are partitioning into three categories. Based on the category, we can design strategy for giving loan like that. Any provisions to them. What is clustering? Clustering is a process of partitioning a set of data in a set of meaningful subclasses called clusters. You will be already having universal collection. We are going to partition that universal collection into subclasses. Those subclasses are called as clusters. Clustering is the partitioning of a data set described with its attributes. Attributes I told you already. Multivariate. That is multivariate means we are not going to have only one attribute. With respect to a person, suppose I wish to consider the attribute whether he is a male or female. That is a single attribute. Further, I am going to collect some more informations. Collecting property on the person, that is the attribute. In yesterday's class, we have seen that variables, that is linguistic variables are persons and linguistic values are attributes. We are going to have as many linguistic values. Linguistic values are nothing but attributes here. We are going to partition the universal collection into subsets based on the linguistic values, which are called as clusters, so that the idea in each subset shares some common trait according to some defined distance measure. Mathematical concept is involved here. Based on the distance measure, we are going to segregate the universal collections. So it partitioned like this. Grouping of object into classes in such a way that with what objective I am going to do the clustering. Objects in the same cluster are similar. Object in different cluster are dissimilar. Object in the same cluster are similar. Similar means they are going to possess the same property. Object in the different clusters are going to possess different properties. Based on the properties or based on the attributes, we are going to segregate the universal collections. What is clustering? Organizing data into classes such that there is high intra-cluster similarity and low inter-cluster similarity. This is my main aim. That is, objective of clustering is organized in this way that minimizing the intra-distance cluster and maximizing the inter-distance cluster. That means intra-distances means distance among the elements inside the cluster, that should be minimum. Since minimum and maximum word are concerned, some disturbance is there. Since minimum and maximum are concerned, so we can give the title as objective. We are going to see objective function for K means clustering and for C means clustering also. Our main objective is to minimize the distance inside the cluster and maximize the distance between any two clusters. Between any two clusters will be seen in detail mathematically. Types of clustering. We are going to partition the types of clustering as soft computing as well as hard computing. Soft computing means overlapping clusters and hard computing means non-overlapping clusters. What do you mean by overlapping cluster and what do you mean by non-overlapping clusters? Here we are seeing through the diagram that they are all non-overlapping clusters. They are all non-overlapping clusters. They are not having any overlapping like between them. As a diagram, we are understanding about overlapping and non-overlapping. How can these words be incorporated mathematically? Because mathematical aspect is very much concerned to our study. Each data point belongs to all clusters with the degree of membership 0 to 1. Each data point belongs to all clusters is the main point that exhibits overlapping clusters to soft computing. How are they going to clusters? By means of the between 0 and 1. See it in detail later. Each data point either belong to exactly in one cluster. The examples what we have seen still far are non-overlapping clusters because every data point belongs to exactly in one cluster, not more than one cluster. Complete belongingness is given with the membership value 1 and complete non-belongingness is given with the membership value 0. Here belongingness lies between the value 0 to 1 in every cluster. Okay, there are some conditions that is going to be imposed in this context and some conditions are going to be imposed in this context also. This is the we are seeing all the information at a scratch. What is good clustering? A good clustering method will produce high quality clusters. What do you mean by high quality clusters? That is, the intra-cluster, which is otherwise called as within the cluster, similarity should be high. You look to the word high here and similarity is another word. This is linguistic variable and this is linguistic value. We are going to concentrate on this also. And the inter-cluster similarity should be low. Inter-cluster means between the clusters. Why clustering? The clustering algorithm should not only be able to handle low dimensional data, but also the high dimensional space. What do you mean by high dimensional space? Attributes may be more than 100, 200 like that. It is highly incorporated in the newly growing area of machine learning. Machine learning clustering is playing an important role with respect to the unsupervised learning. We are going to see it later. It is not going to handle only low dimensional data, but it will handle high dimensional data also. Dimension are nothing but attributes or properties. But we are going to do the problems. We are going to compute problems on this low dimensional data because it is not possible to work with the high dimensional data manually. So we need some tools. The tools will be set in this FDP, but it will not be demonstrated because it is not a workshop for giving information regarding clustering and fuzzy Siemens clustering. Time is not at all enough. Ability to deal with noisy data. Database contains noisy, missing or erroneous data. Yes, while collecting data, we ourselves can experience that. We may in normal day-to-day life while getting information regarding buying groceries or some other things, we may be having some noisy data means we might be giving extra amount to someone or we might be getting some extra amount from the shop owner and we will be missing some data and there may be some erroneous data also. Some algorithms are sensitive to such data and may lead to poor quality clusters. We have to handle these situations also. The clustering results should be interpretable, comprehensible, and usable. Yes. What is the purpose of doing clustering? We are going to interpret some informations. We are going to analyze some information, and it should be comprehensible. That means it should not be the elaborated manner. It should be in the very comprehensive form to give more information to us, and also it should be usable forever. What is the goal of clustering? The goal of clustering is to reduce the amount of data by grouping similar data items together. Can you recollect this statement? What example we have seen? We have seen an example with the background of bank. In bank, there are millions of customers. The bank people will be struggling somehow to implement strategies. In order to implement strategies, they are segregating the people. What that segregation help to the bank people? It is reducing the amount of data. Each cluster will be taken as a single data. Each cluster will be taken as a single data. Instead of getting millions of data, they are going to segregate the data, and each segregation will be called as a single data. Reducing the amount of data by grouping similar data items together. Get meaningful, useful, or both subclasses that capture the natural structure of the data. What is the natural structure that I exhibit in our example? The natural structure is high income group, low income group, and average income group. Before doing that clustering, bank people will not be knowing this many classes of people are our customers. So it should produce the natural structure of the data. What is clustering model? Clustering model focus on identifying similar subclasses from the main class. Already I told you, you must have a main class. That is, millions of customers in the bank is the main class. And we are going to identify similar subclasses. Yes, we have identified the similarity subclasses as high income, average income, and low income, based on centroid and distance measure. What we have seen still far are only verbal in nature and imaginary situations. Here comes the picture of mathematics. On what basis we are going to do the subclass? Based on centroid and distance measure. You need not require any rigorous mathematics such as integration, differentiation, solving differential equations and all. What mathematics we have studied in the lower classes, that such as finding mean, and distance measures such as very elementary and useful strong distance measure in r power n, that is Euclidean distance. With the help of these two measure, we are going to subdivide the main class. The author has skillfully designed this K-means clustering. We have to appreciate the author. Let us see that while coming to the platform. Subclasses share common characteristic. Common characteristic is nothing but property or attribute, we can say, among them for doing analysis on it. This corona situation, you can imagine, who are all feeling this type of symptom. Which area people are feeling this type of symptom? American are doing this one, so only they are getting this much of spread. Like that, we can share some common characteristic based on the problem environment. How do you choose a clustering algorithm? The centers of the cluster should be situated as far as possible from each other, and they will increase the accuracy of the result. What do you mean by this? Look to this diagram. In this diagram, I have drawn, take these pictures. Centers of this cluster and this cluster should be far away as much as possible. Here also, so that type of clustering we have to opt. That means they are saying that when two clusters are different, surely their center of cluster should be situated as far as possible from each other. That will increase the accuracy of the result. The algorithm finds distance between each object of the data set in every cluster. To ensure intra and interflow management. Management is very, after making the cluster, we have to manage the data inside it. How to manage the data? How to managing the data means, should we need to maintain the property of the cluster assets? I don't know that one. That is a greater different dimension of study. So we are not going to discuss it here. As usual, we are going to have some questionnaire session. Just a minute. In the diagrammatic representation, what type of clustering this diagram represents? Since the clusters are far away from each other and they are not having any overlapping, so this belongs to non-overlapping clustering. Non-overlapping clustering will exhibit diagram like this. What type of clustering this diagram represents? This is the overlapping clusters. Why this is overlapping clusters? This portion is the intersection portion. Is this also intersection portion? Diagrammatic representation of non-overlapping clustering is produced here, and its corresponding graph is given in the right hand side. Recall the type of clustering and answer the questions. This is called as cluster 1 and cluster 2 and cluster 3. Before that, these people will not be having any labeling for them. Any labeling means they will be given as individual customers like that. After segregating into group, the people who are here will be called as an average income people. People who are here can be called as an high income people. The people who are here can be called as low income people. Like that, we are going to tag them. That means we will be labeling them. So this is cluster 1, cluster 2 and cluster 3. What is the membership value of X1 in cluster 1? In cluster 1, the membership value will be exactly 1. If it possesses the value 1 means the other clusters, in the other clusters, to this data, it will take the value 0. In all the clusters, all the members will be present, but with some degree of membership. In all the clusters, all the members will present with some degree of membership. With respect to the CRISP clustering, if X1 belongs to this category means he will be given, and he is also possessing the value 1 means to the other clusters, he will be getting the value as 0. What can be the membership value of X2 in cluster 1? Since X2 belongs to this cluster 2 and its membership value is 1, so to the other cluster, its belongingness value will be 0. What is the membership value of X3 in cluster 3? Since X3 is having the high membership value in cluster 3 and it is going to take the value as 1 means full membership is shared. Then there is no membership is left for sharing. That means to the same member X3 and its membership value in the other cluster will be 0. Recall the type of clustering and answer the following questions. This is a non-overlapping cluster. And with respect to this cluster 1, the data point X1 is going to have the belongingness value as 0.65. Then what can be, the question is, what is the membership value of X1 in cluster 2? Can X1 have membership in cluster 2 and cluster 3? Since it is having membership in X1, can it have membership in X2 and X3? Yes, because this is a non-overlapping cluster means it is going to share the value, total value as 1 among all the clusters. It is going to share the total value 1 among all the clusters. So it can have the membership in cluster 2 and cluster 3 also. Which of the following figure represents what type of clustering? Look to this figure, figure 1. This is figure 2 and this figure 3. Do the above figures represent clustering? No doubt. In the diagram itself, it is given as a cluster plot. So it is clustering. What type of clustering they represent? It is non-overlapping and it is overlapping. Similarly, this is also non-overlapping clusters. What is the difference observed in figure 2 and figure 3? I have told the answer also. Interconnectivity between hard and crisp, we have seen already this information in yesterday's class. That is, a fuzzy membership value lie between 0 and 1 and crisp membership value lie between 0, 1. It shows that crisp set is the subset of the fuzzy set. We will be having raw data in our hand priorly. By applying some effective clustering algorithm, we are going to cluster this raw data into meaningful data. But when we collect the raw data, it will not give much meaning because we don't know what to do with this raw data in the mixed mode. After segregating it via some useful algorithm, we will be having some plan to either improve the cluster value like that. Clustering are divided into two classes. One is hierarchical clustering, another one is partitional clustering. We are going to concentrate on partitional clustering. Once again, we are going to make use of crisp set theory in this context. We have already studied the word partition in the crisp context. Based on that principle of partition, we are going to do the clustering. So it is called as partitional clustering. Let us not concentrate on hierarchical clustering. We are going to study partitional clustering into two categories. One is K-means clustering, another one is fuzzy C-means clustering. This K means clustering is nothing but non-overlapping clustering. This fuzzy C means clustering is overlapping clustering because of the word fuzzy, because of the implementation of the concept fuzzy. Clustering algorithm can otherwise be said as exclusive clustering and non-exclusive clustering. Exclusive clustering means it comes under the category of partition, that is non-overlapping, and this is overlapping. What mathematics is involved? Now we have come to the main part. The mathematics involved in the study of clustering are statistics, some data science, metric space concepts such as distance measure, connected and compact. Connected means data inside the cluster should be connected and they should be compact also. The word compact is insisted here because it should maintain effective interclustering distance. Interclustering distance means the cluster 1 is highly compact with respect to the cluster 2 means they should not meet each other at any point. And convexity, already I told you in yesterday class itself, convexity is very important concept because all the data points should entirely lie inside the cluster. All the entirely lying inside the cluster is addressed by the mathematical concept convexity. Lagrangian multiplier is used in the fuzzy setup. So distance measure, that is also said in this category as through metric space. How this distance measure is used in clustering concept. An important component of a clustering algorithm is the distance measure between data points. If the components of the data instance vectors are all in the same physical unit is very much important. Otherwise, to scaling or normalization. So that apply this distance measure, all units of the data should be same. If it is not in the same range, we have to do some exercise such as scaling to make it as a relative component. Then it is possible that the simple Euclidean distance metric is sufficient to successfully group similar data distances. Mostly we are going to handle with the numeric data. Despite both measurements being taken in same physical units, an informed decision has to be made as to the relative scaling. I told you already, we have to either do the relative scaling or normalization. Width and height measurement of an object, even though they are taking the same measurement, we need to do some scaling in that context. Another concept we are going to see here is Minkowski's metric. For higher dimensional data, a popular measure is the Minkowski's metric, and it is denoted by this formula. We all know it, where D is the dimensionality of the data. The several distance metrics that can be used are Euclidean and Manhattan. When this Minkowski metric be said as Euclidean and Manhattan, when we implement the value for P as 2, then it will be called as an Euclidean distance. With P is equal to 1, then it is called as Manhattan metric. However, the choice of a metric determines the shape of the cluster. We are going to concentrate on the shape as a spherical model. There are other models also, like anyway, it should be a closed model, ellipsoid, and so on. There are no general theoretical guidelines for selecting a measure for any given application. This is a main drawback of this clustering. Applications of clustering in the real world scenarios are: clustering is widely used in technique in the industry. It actually been used in almost every domain, ranging from banking. We have started our lecture from the example of banking to recommended engines such as search engines like Google, Yahoo, Explorer, and so on. Document clustering to image segmentation. Document clustering is highly necessary in the background of browsing. Suppose we are browsing with respect to a particular word, means it has to bring the necessary documents based on our search. So it is mainly used in search engines for document search and also for image segmentation for further analysis in biomedical platforms. Customer segmentation we have seen as a first example. Document clustering also I explained a little bit. Image segmentation also, recommended engines, and it prolongs marketing, biology, libraries, insurance, city planning, earthquake studies. Clustering analysis is broadly used in pattern recognition, data analysis, and image processing. Just a minute. What extra information you can observe in the following figure? I have explained a little bit necessary information regarding clustering. Yes, we have seen the word here, clustering. By applying clustering algorithm, our output will be some results in some cluster. Look to these things. These are the extra information. In order to do this clustering algorithm, what should we have priorly on our hand? We should have data matrix. Without data, we cannot apply this clustering algorithm. So the elementary material that is possessed to apply clustering algorithm is data matrix. This data matrix has to be given as an input to manipulate clustering algorithm. But can we get a very good data? Already I told you, while collecting data, we may be having some erroneous data, missed data, like that, noisy data. So we should do some pre-processing. That pre-processing techniques involves data cleaning, data integration, data reduction, and data transformation. Data reduction means we are going to eliminate some unwanted attributes in the context of study. Suppose I am going to group the students with respect to their marks. In that situation, I do not require their sex. So I can remove that attribute from my study. That is called as data reduction. Some attribute we can abruptly reduce. We cannot abruptly reduce all the attribute as such. For that also we need a special technique which is called as principal component analysis. We are going to see a small information about it later. So at the splash, we will be having data, either that it can be a very good data or a dirty data. If it is a dirty data, means we are going to pre-process it. That pre-processing by means of data cleaning, data transformation, and data reduction. We usually do data transformation when we are not able to do manipulation in a particular domain. Means we will be taking our data to the another domain by means of an efficient transformation, and we will be returning back. The same logic is, the same principle is implemented here also. Say true or false. Objective of the clustering is to attain minimum inter-cluster distance, maximum intra-cluster distance. Look to this diagram. This diagram, first one represents intra-cluster distance. Intra means inside. Inter-cluster distance. Inter means between different members. Between two different clusters, that is called as inter-clusters. Here you can observe clearly. These are the two different clusters, and the distance between two different clusters is highly exhibited. Distance means distance between the centers. Distance between the centers. That means distance between two different head of politicians, like that also we can understand in this context. That should be the high. That means they are going to possess different principles. Based on different principle, they will be doing their services. That should be very high. So what is the statement given here? Minimum inter-cluster distance. No. We should have maximum inter-cluster distance. So this statement is false. If it is false, only two choices are there. Automatically, this also should be false. If your answer is no, then produce the correct answer. Now we are going to interchange this maximum and minimum. That means maximum value should be there between inter-cluster distance, and minimum should be there between intra-cluster distance. Between the same cluster, inside the same cluster, distance between any 2 points should be same, because based on the distance only they have clustered. That means they are going to have same property. They are going to have at most the same property. Look to this table. This is information regarding bank. How many samples are there? How many attributes are here? What are the attributes? Pick out the suitable attribute for applying K-means algorithm. This question will be asked again. Pick out the suitable attribute for applying. You remove the word K-means any clustering algorithm. Let us now look to this table. How many samples are here? Samples will be posted in rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 samples. How many attributes are there? After getting the data, you must be able to post it in a well-structured form. After posting it in a well-structured form, you will be able to tell how many data points we possess or how many sample or how many instances. For all are same. We are possessing with how many number of attributes. After posting this in a well-structured way only, we can come to a conclusion. What are the attributes that we are going to keep for our study? One, gender, married, dependents, education, self-employed, application income, applicant income, loan amount term. How many? 1, 2, sorry, from ID we should start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 attributes are here. Do we need all these 10 attributes for doing clustering analysis? For doing clusters first of all, and then only cluster analysis comes. Mainly we are going to consider applicant income as well as loan amount for designing some interesting strategies. Clustering techniques and their application in engineering. Already I told in the objective of today's study, we are going to see a specific applications related to engineering. Clustering is an important data exploration technique. Data is our main ingredient. Data exploration technique, as we explore in Google, we are going to explore left and right in the data to dig some informations. With many applications in different area of engineering, it includes engineering design, manufacturing system design, quality assurance, product planning and process planning, modeling, monitoring and control. Monitoring and control comes into the category of management. The clustering problem has been addressed by researchers from many disciplines. However, efforts to perform effective and efficient clustering, these two words are highly important. These two words will be addressed by some mathematics. Effective and efficient clustering on large data sets. Already I told you, with the minimum number of data, it is ineligible to apply clustering algorithm. When our data set are unexpectedly large, then this clustering algorithm help us to do some interesting clusters for further analyzation. In recent years, efforts to effective and efficient algorithms on large data set only started in recent years with the emergence of data mining. So now you can see here clustering in online shopping, which type of people are buying which type of products. People who are interested in also exhibit their interest. We will be getting some pop-up windows. How we are getting pop-up windows? Suppose I'm interested in astrology, means I will be getting often pop-up information regarding astrology, because people who are working in R&D side of Google will be getting my interest, my area and age group, like that. Based on that, they are sending pop-up information, doing some clustering process. They are not going to do K-means or fuzzy K-means. They will be doing still more higher efficiency clustering techniques. Now we are going to enter into our second part, that is K-means clustering. That is main preamble for studying fuzzy clustering technique. K-means clustering means here K is equal to 3. Abruptly I am saying K is equal to 3. What do you mean by this? Cluster are divided into 3 categories. That means I am going to decide how many clusters I need. In the problem itself, a problem statement itself will not explicitly said that this much number of cluster I require. I am the person, I have to decide with the data what I possess, how many number of. Yes. Yes.
You continue, ma'am. Some other participant had wrongly presented some. Slide.
Slide. Okay. You will be provided with the data and you may be asked to manipulate this type of clustering. You will not be given how many number of clusters you require. That is decided by oneself. So it is given here as k is equal to 3. That's a major drawback of this clustering. K-means clustering is based on crisp set theory. Characteristic function is used for assigning membership. That is, belongingness of an element into the cluster is determined by the characteristic function. Belongingness of this person into this cluster is determined by the characteristic function. These verbal statements will be seen mathematically in very short future. Clustering methods are used to identify groups of similar objects in a multivariate data set. Already I told you we are not going to have any univariate or bivariate. We are going to possess multivariate. Multivariate is nothing but data with enormous attributes. Data with enormous number of attributes. There are different types of clustering. They are partitioning methods, hierarchical clustering, fuzzy clustering, density-based clustering, and model-based clustering. We are going to show interest only on partitioning methods as well as fuzzy clustering. Today, we are going to see one of the partitioning method as K-means clustering. Already, we have seen this chart. What is the speciality in this table? Clustering is divided into two categories, hierarchical and partitioning, distance-based and square error. These are the two main mathematical concept that is incorporated in this partitioning model to get K-means clustering or fuzzy C-means clustering. In both these cases, we are going to incorporate these two mathematics, distance-based as well as error square. Now it is a time to know about a little bit history on K-means clustering. At what time it is started, discrete case when it is handled. What is this SSQ? SSQ is sum of squares. Continuous case. This man, Forgy, has contributed more towards K-means clustering. K-means clustering is one of the methods which is based to classify given data set into number of groups, okay, that we know already, on the basis of Euclidean distance of data points in Cartesian system. That means we are going to have numeric data. When we have numeric data only, we can apply this Euclidean distance, that is in R power n. What does K mean? What does K in K-means clustering? The name is clustering. What does this K-mean refers? The K-mean is an algorithm to cluster. This is a very important and main point. The K-mean algorithm is an algorithm to cluster n objects on attributes, or we are going to have n samples with some attributes into k partitions. That means we are going to subdivide this n into k subsets. What is the interconnectivity between, what's the relationship between k and n? This k must compulsorily be less than n. It is not going to be having any connection with the number of attributes. The K-mean clustering algorithm is an iterative process. It is an iterative process. So initialization and convergence has to be given importance. For any iterative process, initialization is very important and we should look for the convergence to terminate the iteration. When you are trying to minimize the distance of the data point from the average data point in the cluster. Now we are going to see K-means clustering algorithm in verbal form. Already I told you. We are going to see K-means algorithm in verbal form as well as flowchart form. The following steps summarize the operations of K-means clustering. Initialize K cluster centers. You forget about the word center. Initialize K cluster. That means we have to initialize. We have to say how many number of clusters we require. As a teacher, when we are asking question to the students, means we will be giving this much number of clusters I require. We do the performance using this type of clustering algorithm. This can be done either randomly selecting a center. This selection is random. Calculate the distance between each observation and the cluster centers. Assign each point to the cluster whose distance from its center is minimum of all cluster centers. While understanding mathematics verbally, we will be landing in a chaos region. Okay, let it be. We will be understanding thoroughly what this verbal statement explaining the mathematical working part. Assign each point to the cluster whose distance from its center is minimum of all cluster centers. Recompute the position of the centers at the cluster mean. Recompute the distance between each data point and the newly computed centers. Repeat step 3 and 4 until all the data points are assigned. Okay, let it be. Come to the flowchart model. Flowchart model is, let us start the algorithm. Input the number of clusters. We have to give the how many number of clusters we require when we are working this technique through tools. To each cluster, you have to calculate its corresponding centroid. To each cluster, we have to calculate its corresponding centroid. How these clusters are positioned, how these clusters are mathematically placed, we are going to see it later. Calculate the distance. Careful replacement of clusters in a well-structured form. It will be easy for us to then calculate the distance between which and which after designing the cluster and after initializing the cluster. We are going to find the centroid of each cluster. Then with respect to each cluster and with respect to all the data points, we are going to calculate the distance. Well, it is our option to take the distance measure as we wish. Generally, it is prescribed as Euclidean distance. We can change the distance measure also according to the background of the problem or according to our interest or any for analyzing purpose. We can do different distance measure and we can do the interpretations, analyzation and come to some conclusions. What are the places that require redesigning, improvement and modification are the two important terms in mathematics. We are not just going to have any definition as such. We will be looking for the place where we can do some modification. That modification or improvement should be a meaningful manner, meaningful way. As far as this clustering technique is concerned, we are going to possess two important mathematical techniques. One is calculating centroid, another one is calculating distance measure. So we are going to change that centroid into median format. Similarly, this distance measure, we are having enormous number of distance measure. One by one, we can do the measurement calculation and take it for further analysis. In some problem, some of the distance measure is ineligible to apply. That also we need to see it carefully. So input the number of clusters and take the clusters in the structured format. Keenly look to the word structured format. It will be explained later. To that structured cluster, we are going to find centroid of each cluster. Then every cluster will be having only the centroid element at present. Now, with respect to this centroid, we are going to calculate the distance between centroid and to all the points and group based on the minimum distance. Group B, that means do the clustering based on the minimum distance. Since it is an iteration process, what is the condition for convergence? When to stop our working procedure? Here are essentially three stopping criteria that can be adopted to stop K-means clustering. Centroids of newly formed cluster do not change. That means every time we are going to change the centroid. While changing the centroid, we are not able to change the centroid, means we have come to the point of convergence. We can stop. Points remain in the same cluster. We should ensure that all the points remains in the same cluster after we cannot change the centroid. Maximum number of iterations are reached. Maximum number of iterations has also been reached at the same time. We are going to see a little bit connectivity between machine learning and K-means clustering. With respect to machine learning, Machine learning is partitioned into supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning, where our clustering algorithm is incorporated in this machine learning. Clustering problem is incorporated in unsupervised learning. K-means clustering, while addressing K-means clustering, we can address in this way also. So only I have given some small preamble on machine learning. K-means clustering is one of the simplest and popular unsupervised machine learning algorithms. We have seen here unsupervised, simplest and popular unsupervised algorithm. What do you mean by unsupervised? That also we are going to see in detail. K-means clustering reduces the data through clusters. It is used to reduce the data. Enormous million of customers are going to be reduced into 5 groups or 10 groups. That means we are going to call million data people into 5 data, because each group people can be called as a single data. K-means clustering is helping us to minimize the number of data, whereas principal component analysis is the another part of supervised clustering. It helps us to reduce the number of features. Number of features are nothing but number of attributes or number of dimensions. Mathematician, we used to call attribute collection as the dimensions. In R power n, every position represents dimension of the data. That means every position, every dimension can be contributed to. Every dimension can be contributed to attributes by means of feature extraction. Supervised learning and unsupervised learning, labeling the data and unlabeling the data are important. This is supervised learning and this is unsupervised learning. Supervised learning are possessing labeled data, and unsupervised learning are going to possess unlabeled data. Unlabeled data means they are not going to have any tag at all. They are in the mixed mode. Here they are having the tag as cat, dog, and so on. Labeled data is a data that comes with a tag like a name, type, or number. After getting into the conference or anywhere else, we will be giving a tag that you are so and so. Your number is there. You have to be seated there itself like that. Difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Okay, these are some of the examples, types of machine learning. Under supervised learning, we are going to have clustering, which is applied in biology, city planning, and targeted marketing. Now we are going to come to the other part of K-means clustering, that is advantages and disadvantages. Advantages of K-means algorithm: ease of implementation and high speed performance. It is easy to implement because of the mathematical model as centroid and Euclidean distance, which we have studied in our lower classes. Measurable and inefficient in data collection. It is measurable and also efficient in large data collection. So large data is very much needed for applying K-means clustering. Disadvantages is selection of optimal number of cluster is difficult. Which cluster is optimal? Which cluster is addressing the minimum concept? Which cluster is addressing the maximum concept? Based on the application, we may be in the requirement of minimum or maximum. We will be finding some difficulty in understanding optimal number of clusters. Selection of the initial centroid is random. You may be selecting some model of initial clustering. I may be selecting some another model of initial clustering. We both may not be end up with the same result. That is the major problem in K-means clustering. At the same time, we should look for its limitations also. It is sensitive to initial clustering, as I told in the previous statement. Both of us are going to get the different answers. Limiting case of fixed data, difficulty to compare with different number of clusters, need to specify the number of clusters in advance, unable to handle noisy data and outliers. Outliers means totally, it is odd man out data. It is very tough to handle with odd man out data and also noisy data in the environment of K-means clustering. Not suitable to discover clusters with non-convex shape. Already I told you in the yesterday's class, we are very much, we are going to address only convex set of, convex set for k-means clustering. So it is difficult to handle with the non-convex shapes. Mostly we are going to adapt spherical structure. Now, very important, very core part of our study comes into the picture. That is mathematical aspect, k-means clustering. What we require initially to manipulate k-means clustering? Data. What we require initially to manipulate k-means clustering, which is nothing but data, which is otherwise called as a sample. The sample is the universal collection X containing n points. Each data sample Xi is defined by m features. Our data should compulsorily be containing, already we have seen that it is a multivariate. What is our variate? M. Multivariate means multi-attribute. Features are nothing but attributes. In our context, that is mathematical study, we will be saying it as dimensions. So this n data points are going to take m dimension. For example, we have taken ith data. This ith data is also taking m attributes. The above said informations are put in the form of a table structure. You will be provided data like this. Sample is n and attribute is m. The data is posted in this way. Principle of k-means clustering. On what principle we are going to work with k-means clustering? That is partition. Partition of n samples with m attributes. What partition, what principle does this partition possess? That is non-overlapping clusters. When I make union of all these clusters, I should result in the whole collection A, and they are mutually disjoint. Condition for partitioning in this crisp background is unioning all the partitions, you should get the universal collection, mutually disjoint, no subset should be empty, and no subset should be the universal set. Aspect of partition with respect to the membership function or characteristic function, this union is given in the logical sense by the characteristic function as R. When I'm substituting union by R, then I have to take its corresponding membership value. It should be 1 because here I'm having the universal collection, here is 0. That means intersection of any two belongingness between, what does this note? This symbol indicates kth data in the ith subset. That means kth data point, the membership value of a kth data point in the ith subset. Similarly, membership value of the kth data point in the jth subset should be 0. Suppose this kth data point is belonging on the ith subset, means what will be its characteristic value? It should be 1. If it is 1, means according to the principle of partition, it should be possess the value 0. When taking the AND operation between these two membership values, surely it will be 0. If this data point belongs to this subset, means surely it will not be belonging to this subset. At this position, it takes the value 0 for non-belongingness, and for belongingness, it will take the value 1. So their logical understanding value will be 0 with respect to the characteristic function. And adding all the values, this is also very important condition that should be addressed in k-means clustering. Adding all the values, it should be between 0 to 1. What is mean by adding all the values? Take a data point xk and consider its membership value in all the n subsets. And while adding all the values, it should lie between 0 to n. Already I have told you this description that xk is the data point. If it belongs to AI, means its membership value will be 1. Here its membership value will be 1, means for not belongingness case, it should be getting the value as 0. Chi AI xk represent the membership value of the kth data point in the ith subset of the universal collection capital X. This is very important. Since we are dealing with the principle of partition, we are going to arrive at the partition space in k-means clustering. What do you mean by partition space? Possible collection matrix with C rows and n columns, where C is the number of clusters which will be decided by us. and n is the number of data points which will be given to us. Let me read this again. Possible collection matrix with the C rows and n columns. This n columns, column data will be provided to us. We have to decide how many number of rows we require, that is how many number of clusters we require. That clusters will be posted in the row structure and the data will be posted in the column structure, so that we are going to collect collection of matrix. All the collection of matrix will be addressing the principle of partition. So that collection is going to be called as a space since it addresses principle of partitions. That is given in this way as MC is the partition space. It is going to collect all the matrices with the C rows and N columns, where rows represents the clusters. Where row represents the clusters, that will be decided by us with the condition that this is the condition for belongingness. This is the condition for to be exactly in only one cluster. This equation exhibits to us that I have given it detailed here. MC is nothing but Hard-C partition space. What is this chi ij? Membership value of jth data point in the ith cluster, and sigma chi ik is equal to 1 means column wise summation is equal to 1. This represents column wise summation, which means summation of the membership value is equal to 1. This guarantees that belongingness or membership of data point should exactly be only in one cluster. In order to ensure that with respect to the k-means clustering, our data point are allowed to lie exactly in only one cluster. This verbal statement is expressed by this mathematical form. The verbal statement, belongingness or membership of a data point should lie exactly in one cluster. This verbal form is put mathematically like this. This is row-wise summation, which is less than 1 means summation of membership value of different data points in the same cluster should be less than 1. Summation of different data points in the same cluster. This is summation of different data points. We are varying k from 1 to n. That means different data points in the same cluster. We are fixing this I. So different data points in the same cluster, when adding, it should give the value less than or equal to 1. These are the conditions for arriving the cluster or initializing the cluster. Then we have to get the cardinality. The cardinality of any Hard-C partition is given by, it is given by the notation eta, and this is the formula. What does it tells? Cardinality is nothing but getting the number of possible partition matrix. Number of possible partition matrix. That is number of matrix present in MC. Eta MC is the how many number of U we are going to get. How many number of initialization that we can do. What is the difference between obtaining collection of all possible subset of a set containing n elements? This is your n elements. What is the difference between obtaining collection of all possible number of subsets is 2 power n? What is the difference between obtaining all possible partition matrix with the C rows and n data points? This is the answer. That means through this we are going to get n number of partitions through the n number of partitions with the C rows. Here we are incorporating the rows. Here no row is incorporated. This is one dimensional and this is dimension we are going to decide. What is the difference between the following statements? Getting all possible combinations of subsets from n element set and getting partition space in k-means clustering. This is a very important concept we need to understand while getting deeply into k-means clustering. Arrangement or order of cluster selection is immaterial. We are going to understand this statement through an example. Suppose we have 5 data points in the universe, x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, we want to cluster these 5 points into two clusters. My aim is C is 2. That is, n is given by the other person, and C, I have to decide the how many number of initial partition matrix I can get. For initialization, how many partition that I can have. Among that possible matrix, I am going to take any one of the matrix. This is the formula to calculate possible odd two partitions. Why two partitions? Here C is given as 2. The formula is 1 by 2 times. Already I have shown the formula. In this case, 1 by C factorial, that is 2 factorial. Sigma I is equal to 1 to C, Ci. And by incorporating this formula to these data points, we are getting 15 different possible combinations. What is my heading? Arrangement or order of cluster selection is immaterial. We have not seen this type of matrix earlier. What it shows? Look upon each matrix. They are having only the entries 0 and 1. That means by means of characteristic function, its belongingness is determined. This is the belongingness matrix. Clustering matrix is nothing but belongingness matrix. Of what belongingness? Belongingness of the data point. How many data points are there? 5 data points. So data points are posted in the column and clusters are taken in the row. Here, this is cluster 1 and this is cluster 2. We are going to keep the clusters in the row wise and we are going to keep data in the column wise. Okay. What is the meaning for giving the value 1 and 0 in this manner? These are the 15 possible combinations we are got by means of this data point. By incorporating this data point and the number of clusters in this formula, among this 15 U matrix, I can start my problem with any one of the U matrix. That means what I have given here, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0 means in the first cluster, I am going to take 4 points and I am ignored the last data point. In the second cluster, compulsorily I must take the ignored data point. That means in the first collection, x1, x2, x3, x4. I am starting with the first collection as x1, x2, x3, x4 and in the second collection is x5. Among this 15 possible condition, I can take any one. Suppose I am taking this one. 1110 and 0001. Heading here is arrangement or order of cluster selection is immaterial. We can take it at any position. That means I can replace all these members of the second cluster in the first position format. So it is not necessary that this element should be placed in the first row and this type of clustering should be placed in the second row. Clustering position can be either in any one of the row. No particular way of arrangement is set in the literature. These two are the same. That means I swapped the cluster position. Suppose I am calling this as C1, I am calling this as C2 means I can interchange this and I can proceed the problem. There will not be any change in the answer. Suppose we have matrix like this 1 1 0 0 0 0 1. Find the following. What does this represent? What does it means? And you are asked to calculate all these things. What is it? Sigma I equal to 1 to k, x I k is equal to 1. That means column wise addition should be 1. What do you mean by column wise addition should be 1? Ensuring that data point belong to exactly in one cluster. How it is ensured here? When a data is belonging to the first cluster means the same data should not belong to the second cluster. I am explaining in the verbal form should not belong to in the second cluster means how can I convert it into mathematical form? For not belongingness of the same data point in the next cluster, the value should be 0. Since here we are having only 2 clusters, if a data point is in the first cluster means surely it should not be in the second cluster. Similarly here, it is in the first cluster, so it is not in the second cluster. Rows are representing the cluster. Here 1 cluster and 2 cluster. This is 2 cluster form. How many data points we possess? 5 data points. We do not require how much attributes these data possess in itself. So in this 2 cluster with 5 data points, you are asked to manipulate all these things. That means you are asked to ensure that belongingness is exactly in only one cluster. Yes. Adding these two things in the column wise, we are getting the answer as 1. We have ensured. And what does this means? That different data points in the same cluster should strictly be less than 1. It should not also be 0. That means ensure that a data point should belong to at least one cluster. Sorry, exactly in one cluster. That means here 1 plus 1 plus 1, while adding all these 3 values, we are getting the value as 3. That 3 is strictly less than 4 because we are having 4 data points. And its equivalent U matrix, already I told you in the previous example that swapping the cluster position in row wise is immaterial. Therefore, I can swap these two positions. Equivalent U matrix is post this 0001 in the first row and 1110 in the second row. That is its equivalent form. How many sample points? 4 sample points. How many attributes? I don't know. Calculate eta MC. Eta MC can be calculated using this formula. So with this single matrix, you may be asked this much of questions. Just a minute. How many classes are, sorry, how many subsets are there in X for partition? What are the last, the following set equation exhibits? A, how many subsets are there in X? Look here, A2 bar is equal to A1 bar. Okay, there are 2 different subsets. From this equation, A1 union A1 bar. This A1 bar is A2 is equal to X. So totally there are only 2 partitions. So why I am calling this by means of the partition? Their intersection is 0. My universal set can exactly be partitioned into 2 categories. Can exactly be partitioned into 2 categories. Their union is X and their intersection is 0. Sorry, their intersection is empty. Now we are coming to the very core part of our study. Algorithm of hard C-means in mathematical aspect. This is very hard to understand because we have understood this algorithm verbally and also in flowchart model. For that reason, I am just skipping this slide, and this is the place where we are provided with the convergency criterion and we should do the initialization. Wherever you find U0 format, that is for initialization, this initialization has come from the partition space. Already we know that partition space MC depends on the number of data points and the number of clusters. We are going to find the how many number of partition matrix can be there in the partition space. Partition space is MC and partition ordinality is eta MC. How many numbers can be there in the partition matrix? How many member means what type of member? That member is nothing but cluster members that are going to be taken in the matrix format. These are the main main part for manipulations. Objective of hard C means partition. Why do we call here the word objective? Because we are going to address minimum and maximum concept. To which category we are going to address minimum? Minimum distance inside the cluster and the maximum distance between the clusters. Inside the cluster is called as intra-cluster. Between the clusters is called as interclusters. For that reason, we are supporting with the word, we are annexed with the word objective function because this minimum and maximum concept are going to be posted with respect to the distance. Minimum and maximum concept are going to be tested with respect to the distance based on some belongingness value. This belongingness value is nothing but the weight value here. Belongingness value is the weight value. So based on the distance, we are going to get minimum or maximum. So here distance notation is given DIK. Chi is the weighting value of every member. Formula for finding distance between cluster center and data point. This is the data point. We know that data point are represented by xk and centers are represented by v. Are represented by the letter v. Data are represented by x. How many number of data? K data means k data and I centers. This is the Euclidean distance measure. My question is, how many attribute this center vector possesses? Center vector is also one of the data point. Center vector is also in the form of a data point, means as many number of attributes possessed by the data points, center is also going to possess the same. If suppose my data n possess m attributes, the center also is going to possess m attributes. So you must be clear in that. You may be having some trouble in understanding the number of attributes possessed by the center vector. And this is the formula for calculating the center. Adding all the data points divided by the number of data points that we know. What does this chi-ik does? Chi-ik is giving the weights to every data point. So it will be observed as weighted mean. Now K means algorithm. We are going to see it in the flowchart model. We are going to start our work and declare how many number of clusters we require. And to each cluster, calculate the centroid. And in every cluster, calculate the distance between the centroid to all the data points for every clusters. Calculate the distance between centroid and to all the data points in every cluster. And post the data points depends on the minimum distance, and post the data points in the cluster based on the minimum distance value attained. If it is not attained, repeat the process until you get the convergency. Now we are going to get into the main part, that is how when we are having low dimensional data. What do you mean by low dimensional data? Data points can be more, but its dimension should be very minimum. Dimension here I am representing as attributes. Dimensioning means I am representing here as attributes. Number of points is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Attributes means it is represented by our dimension. A1 and A2 are the attributes. X1 is 2 attribute set. 2 attribute set means in our language, one is 1, 3, x2 is 1.5, 3.2, x3 is 1.3, 2.8, x4 is 3, 1. So with these two attributes and 4 data points, we are asked to manipulate C means clustering, and our decision is C is equal to 2. I'm going to calculate cyclic 4 eta MC. Through eta MC, I have got 7 for all possible matrices in the vertex. Any one of the matrix for this is initial cluster. This initial cluster will be taken from this possible, so that only it is necessary for us to calculate ED. One of the value as the initial partition, let it be. So it's going to represent the cluster 1 and cluster 2. Data was sorted in row wise. Members is initial assignment. Member in cluster 1 is x2, x3 and x4. Value is chi-ij is equal to 1, 0. With respect to the second clusters, for the members x2 and x3, x5 is equal to 1, value is 0. Since it is an iteration process, visualization and proceed our initialization. This is assumption. We need this you want partition matrix in the partition space. This one procedure terminates. So this process. Here it is given as this. So this is the diagrammatic representation. Cluster